The Middle East has long been a crossroads of global tensions, but in recent months, one flashpoint has drawn renewed attention from Washington, regional actors, and military analysts alike. The growing hostility between the United States and the Houthi movement in Yemen has sparked concerns about a broader escalation, not only in the Red Sea but across the entire Gulf region. The deployment of dozens of United States Air Force A-10 Warthog attack jets, an aircraft that is both feared and iconic for its devastating ground attack capabilities, marks a striking shift in posture. This decision does not come lightly, and it reflects both the seriousness of the challenge posed by the Houthis and the determination of the United States to project force in a part of the world where freedom of navigation, global trade, and regional stability remain under constant threat. To understand the magnitude of this development, it is essential to first explore the background of the conflict itself. Yemen's civil war, now well into its second decade, has been one of the most devastating humanitarian crises in modern history. What began as a local struggle for power quickly morphed into a regional proxy war, with the Houthis, a Zaidi Shia movement from northern Yemen, facing off against a coalition backed by Saudi Arabia and supported, to varying degrees, by the United States and its allies. The Houthis, however, have not remained isolated rebels. Over time, they have built a sophisticated military machine, increasingly reliant on Iranian technology, support, and training. They have fielded ballistic missiles, drones, and naval mines, making them one of the most formidable non-state actors in the Middle East. The United States has been involved in the Yemen conflict primarily through intelligence sharing, logistical support, and arms sales to the Saudi-led coalition. However, Washington has often walked a fine line. On the one hand, American administrations, both Republican and Democrat, have voiced concern over the humanitarian disaster created by coalition airstrikes and blockades. On the other hand, the Houthis have positioned themselves as a direct threat to international shipping lanes in the Red Sea and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, one of the most vital maritime choke points in the world. With approximately 10% of global trade passing through these waters, any disruption has the potential to ripple across the global economy. And it is precisely here, in the narrow waters of the Red Sea, that the Houthis have escalated their attacks on commercial shipping, allegedly with Iranian backing, and where the United States has chosen to respond with a visible display of force. The deployment of A-10 Warthog attack aircraft to the region is both symbolic and practical. Symbolically, the presence of these jets sends a clear message. The United States is prepared to protect its interests, its allies, and the critical flow of commerce that sustains the global economy. Practically, the A-10 is uniquely suited to the kind of warfare the Houthis have embraced. Originally designed during the Cold War to destroy Soviet tanks on the battlefield, the A-10 has evolved into one of the most effective platforms for close air support and precision strikes. Its heavily armored body, massive 30mm GAU-8 Avenger rotary cannon, and ability to loiter over battlefields for extended periods make it a nightmare for insurgent groups, armored vehicles, and entrenched positions alike. In Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria, the Warthog earned a fearsome reputation as both a soldier's guardian angel and an adversary's worst nightmare. To now see it positioned against the Houthis suggests that Washington anticipates a prolonged campaign, one in which precision strikes against mobile missile launchers, drone bases, and coastal defenses may be required. But why now? Why has the Biden administration, which had previously taken steps to distance itself from direct involvement in the Yemen war, chosen to escalate militarily at this moment? The answer lies in a confluence of factors. First and foremost, the Houthis have dramatically increased their attacks on international shipping in the Red Sea, targeting vessels they claim are linked to Israel, Saudi Arabia, or the United States. These attacks, which often involve drones and anti-ship missiles, have created a dangerous environment for civilian mariners and military vessels alike. Second, the broader regional context cannot be ignored. The war in Gaza, the ongoing tensions with Iran, and the fragile ceasefire negotiations in Yemen have all combined to create a volatile mix. The United States, keen to reassure its partners in the Gulf while deterring further escalation, has opted to project military strength. At the same time, this deployment raises several key questions. Will the presence of A-10 Warthogs actually deter the Houthis, or will it embolden them to escalate further, perhaps with direct Iranian involvement? What are the risks of drawing the United States into yet another open-ended conflict in the Middle East? And perhaps most importantly, how does this move fit into Washington's broader strategy, which has increasingly focused on pivoting toward the Indo-Pacific and countering China, rather than getting bogged down in Middle Eastern wars? The A-10's return to prominence in the region also reflects broader debates within the US military itself. For years, the Pentagon has attempted to retire the Warthog, arguing that it is a relic of a bygone era of warfare. Yet, time and again, the A-10 has proven indispensable in conflicts where close air support and rugged survivability are more valuable than stealth or speed. The aircraft's supporters, including soldiers and Marines who have benefited from its firepower, have fought to keep it in service. Its deployment to counter the Houthis is yet another vindication of its utility in modern asymmetric warfare. It is, in many ways, the perfect tool for the job. As the world watches this latest escalation, it is clear that the US-Houthi standoff is not simply about Yemen. It is about global trade, regional power dynamics, and the credibility of American military commitments. The Red Sea is not just a body of water, it is a lifeline of commerce that connects Asia, Africa, and Europe. Any disruption there reverberates far beyond the region. The Houthis know this, and they have leveraged it as part of their strategy. The United States also knows this, which is why it has chosen to send in some of its most battle-tested machines of war.